What up, everyone? Back for another video. We got our monthly review. We just did one last week, but the boxes this is for March now, I believe. We're already here, so I wanted to get to this video sooner rather than later. We're like halfway through April, but these boxes show up super late, so we're not super far behind. We've only got 4 here, the last remaining 4 pretty much, so let's talk about what's in them and see what's going to be best for you. First off, we got Zoby. So, they switched it up this time around, and they gave us a towel instead of a t-shirt. Now, I'm kind of in favor of this because their t-shirts suck. They have the worst shirts ever. They always have. They're just really poor quality, really shitty design, so I'm not upset that they're switching it up a little bit. I think that's great. That being said, why did it have to be so tiny? Like, what am I going to do with this? It's like, could be a hand towel, but it's like not even big enough for that. Could have made it like a little bit bigger. Like, I mean, they honestly could have just put like a decent sized bath towel in there if they really wanted to. They're not that expensive. You just pretty simple design, but why the tiniest little washcloth ever? And since it's like painted on there, it's hard to wash your hands really with it. So again, odd choices, very weird choices. The only thing I can assume was to make it look more like the size it does like in the movie, but that's really the only thing I can think of, and it's not this color, so I don't really know why they went with that and did this color and this size. Very odd choices. But as far as a value on that, surprisingly, 12 to 15, right about the same a shirt would go for. So, like I said, I don't mind that they're switching it up. I think it's cool that boxes are doing something other than shirts. You get so sick of shirts after a while. I have millions of shirts I'm never going to get to wearing because they come all the time, so it's nice to switch it up, and their shirts sucked anyway, so good choice. Then we got our autograph by Mark Magolis. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but he's from Breaking Bad. He was also in Star Trek. A lot of people don't know that. I can't remember. He was not like a super main character, and he had a lot of makeup on, so you wouldn't recognize him, but he was actually in that. This is going for about $30. I didn't think it was going to go for that much because it's not like a super well-known person, but it's still going for a decent value, so $30 on that. Then the pins, I actually got 2. I'm not really sure why. I'm not sure if it was a mistake or not, but there's different rarities, so I'm not complaining. I'm glad I got 2. From Swingers, which is a very specific movie. It's such an odd choice for that. I personally have never seen it because it was like a very specific movie from the 90s. Like, it's a little bit too obscure of a reference, but you know, at least the pins are really well done. The quality on them's nice. I really like the matchbook one. The one with the face is a little awkward looking, but these go for 12 to 15 a piece. I'm not valuing both. I'm valuing it based on one single pin, and they go for about 12 to 15, which I think is merited because they're good in size and they're very detailed. So 12 to 15 is completely fair. Then we got a sticker of Slimer, not from anything specific, obviously from Ghostbusters, but not from like a specific show or anything like that. It's just kind of an artist's interpretation of Slimer, so $1 for that, sure. So that brings our value on the low end 55, on the high end 61. So pretty low in the value. This is around a $45 box, depending on where you are and shipping and taxes and things like that. Roughly 45. So not much more than you paid for. And the the signature was a decent value, but again, not super well known. The towel it's nice of them to mix it up, but again, super tiny towel. What are you going to do with it? Pins were nice quality of a very specific movie, so everything in here was kind of like if and either or. It was like kind of good, but also kind of weird, or kind of valuable, but also kind of bad. So it was just right there in the middle. I'm going to give this box a 5.5 out of 10. I think it was just barely worth it. You got just a little bit more than you paid for, and the things in there were good, nor weren't bad, but not great, and still a little bit weird. So I think a 5.5 is reasonable on that. All right, next up, the BAM box. The only BAM box I get now because they canceled the cartoon box, and I'm still upset about that. That was my favorite box, and people even said in the comments they like that box too. I don't know why they canceled, but I'm still bummed about it to this day. So, the pins were sitting on top. We got some pins. These are Transformer pins. They've done a Transformer pin before that was really good. These ones are not so great because they're a close-up of the faces, but they're also of the faces of like the 80s cartoons, so they're very simplistic in design. If they were going to do close-up faces, they should have done like the movie versions of these characters. If they're going to do the cartoon ones, they should have done like a full body shot. So it was weird they did a close-up of the face because they're just overly simplistic. So the value on the pair is 15. And I have noticed that I said that in the last video, that for some reason, when BAM started putting 2 pins in the box, that the value came down. The value on BAM box pins were almost always in that $12 to $15 range. Like, obviously, there's variations in there, but we're all around that price. Then all of a sudden they changed the pin thing and gave 2 pins, and now every time I look it up, the pair of them is 15. So it's very odd. I don't really know why. The quality hasn't gone down at all, but for some reason, I guess just because maybe they're putting 2 in, it's devaluing it a little bit. I'm not really sure. It's just very odd that all of a sudden they're worth 15 for 2 when 1 was supposed to be around that. So very odd. Don't really know how to explain it, but $15 for the pair of those. Next, we got our prop replica, and this is the Crescent Blade from Moon Knight. And you know, it's okay. It's nothing like crazy. It's not super special. It's pretty basic. So there's that. And then we got our autograph from Emily Swallow, who appeared in The Mandalorian and various other shows. The value on this, sorry, I didn't give the value on the value on this was around $40, which is kind of surprising. Apparently, she has much more of a following than I would have assumed. So the value on that's a little bit higher than I would have assumed. Back to the Crescent Blade. I really couldn't find any information on this as far as value. There was only one listing I saw, and that was for $25, and I really don't think it's worth that. So it's very, very hard to give this a value. That's why I didn't initially say it. So I'm not really sure what to give it. I have to give it 25 because that's the only information, but I wouldn't quite value it. If I had to guess, I would value it more around like that $15 range, personally. So we'll talk about that when we get in the overall value. But that was the value on that. Then we got our artist print by George Vega, and this was also going for a lot more than I would have expected too. This is going for like 18 to 20. Now, this artist has been around a while and has done a few things for Bambox, so maybe he's just gaining more of a following, but this is more than most of the art prints would go for. So overall value on this box, way more than I expected and way more than usual. So if you don't even factor in the blade, where did I put it? The Crescent Blade, because I said I couldn't really figure out the value. Even if you don't factor that in, the value is $75. And if you give it the full value, it's $100. So the value on this is somewhere between $75 and $100. Literally, if you don't count the blade, still $75, which is pretty fantastic. So depending on what you would value the blade at, because it doesn't have any specific monetary value right now, that's kind of where the score is. So I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10 because I don't think the blade should be worth $25. I think it'd be valued at a lot less personally, but really great value, and I'm happy to have the autograph. I recognize the character from The Mandalorian, but you know, I didn't recognize the actress, but I looked her up and seen what she's done, so she's pretty popular, and The Mandalorian's popular, so good value on that. I don't personally care about the art print, but I know some people do if it's getting that value. Pins are great. I'm not sure why they're getting such a low value, but they are, so 8 out of 10 I think is fair. Very good job. Keep up the good work. Bam. You better keep up the good work. You owe me for canceling a box I like. Very upsetting. All right, next. Marvel Collector Corps. One of the classics. That'll probably always be around, honestly. I can't imagine me ever canceling this box. So we got our shirt here, and it's from the What If, the I'm not single, I'm saving myself for Thor, which I think is funny. And this will get the standard $12 to $15 value, but as far as a score on the shirt, this will stay open, I'm giving it a 6 out of 10 because the design of it's not like crazy amazing, but it's replicating a very specific shirt from the show. So in that case, I say it's okay because it's supposed to be a copy of something. It's not supposed to have amazing design quality, and that part of the show is funny, so I think this is a funny reference. I'm going to wear this because I think it's cool, and for the love of God, for the first time in, I don't even know, a million years, they've given us a shirt that didn't have pop characters on it. thank you. For the love of Christ, Marvel Collector Corps. How long have I been saying that? So sick of the t-shirts with the pop figures. Nothing against pop figures, don't get me wrong. It's just I don't need 2,000 shirts with that on there. When this box first started, they just did comic book t-shirts, and they were amazing. They had such good quality, and I wear those to this day. And then when they did one pop shirt, I'm like, okay, no big deal. But years later, all of them, it's just, I'm so sick of it. So I've been begging them for years, do something other than pop design t-shirts. Do phrases, that's fine. It still is promoting your show, that's totally cool. Everybody wins. I still say they should go back to some of the comic book style t-shirts. I don't think they're going to, because I don't think they're trying to promote comics at this point. So fine, promote your TV shows, but do something more interesting than pop design shirts. Like, I'm over it. Anyway, that was my long-winded rant. $12 to $15 on that. Then we got a little pin, and this is going for about $6 to $8. It's very tiny. The other suggestion I've been giving for years, put backings to it. This would be so much more valuable if it literally just had a back to it. It doesn't need to be anything it's fantastic with a crazy picture, just a simple black backing that maybe says Marvel on it. Very simple, would cost them next to nothing, would increase the value of these pins significantly, would make them so much more collectible, make them so much more presentable. They really should do that, and I would really consider it. So 6 to 8 on that, but if it had a backing, probably be like 12 to 15. Basic pin, nothing special about it. Then we got a sticker. The stickers in this box go for a decent value, so it gets like a $3 to $5 value. Most of the time, other boxes, if it's a random sticker that's not licensed, but this one is licensed stuff, so it does get some value. I wouldn't pay that for it, but other people are, so I can't argue with that. Then we got our pop figures, and we got Baron Zemo and Wanda from WandaVision. So I kind of like these. I like I like the version of Baron Zemo we got because this is the dancing Zemo, which has been a meme ever since that show came out. So I think that's really cool. I think that's cool of Marvel that they're kind of meta in that sense, and they are recognizing what's out there. They are recognizing pop culture. They're not just giving us figures to promote themselves. They see that there was a funny joke about that and made a pop figure based on a joke from their show that's become a meme. So I think that's cool. I think that's very meta, and I like that. And then as far as the Scarlet Witch one, it's fine. I kind of like it. I've never been a big fan of when they do solid colors, but these ones aren't too bad because it's like the translucent red and it's got some sparkles to it, so it's still kind of cool. And based on the fact that she's a witch, like I kind of get that, so not that bad. As far as values on these, the Zemo was going for about 15 to 20, and the Wanda was going for 25 to 30. I'm surprised the Zemo wasn't going for more, honestly, considering how popular that meme was in that episode was. Maybe people didn't recognize it as that. Maybe they should have named it Dancing Zemo. So maybe people just didn't recognize he was dancing from that pose. That's the only thing I can think of, because I would assume that would have been more popular. And Wanda is obviously the main character from the show, and she's coming up in Doctor Strange as a huge character, so not surprising hers is going for a little more. So as far as the value on this, on the low end, 61, on the high end, 78. So this one is about a $30 box. I think they've even lowered the price a little bit. I'll have to double check. I think it's getting closer to like 25 now. I'm not 100% sure. I'll double check. But either way, you're easily getting double your value, even on the low end of this. Great quality stuff because it's directly from Funko, so it's all very collectible, all decently valuable, and the pop tees they make are decent in quality. They're not wonderful, but they're not bad either. I often would wear the pop tees if they have cool designs on them, because they are decently made, so I respect that. So overall, I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. They did a pretty good job. And I don't know if they're doing... Sorry, I gotta sneeze. Okay, I'm good. So I don't know if they're putting more effort into this box, or the other boxes around it are just getting shittier, so it's making this one seem better. So I'm not really sure which it is. It's hard to tell at this point, but I'm glad they're still going. This is the last subscription box that Funko does, so I'm bummed that they got rid of the other ones before. I would have kept them around. I liked them. I think they should bring them back personally, but that's just me. So 8 out of 10 on that box. I think it's worth it. This one hopefully will be around forever. I'm always going to keep the Marvel box. It's always been my favorite fandom, so hopefully it stays around a long time. All right, last one. I would say the last box, but it's more like the last or first bag. This is Geek Fuel. This is what Geek Fuel is now. A flimsy bag. They used to be a box, now they are a bag. So, that's the end of that. So, for those of you who don't know, who didn't hear the story, this was a subscription box. It's been around for years. This is one of the first boxes I got, was Geek Fuel. Back when they did a monthly one, then they switched to quarterly, then they went back to monthly, and now they're just doing a t-shirt box, but it's basically a bag. So essentially what it is a t-shirt and one additional item, which is pretty much what the box had turned into anyway, but now they're just not even giving you a box, it's just a bag now. So it's gone down in price a little bit. This one, maybe this is the one that was $24. I might have been confusing that one in Marvel Collector Course. This one's $24 now. It was about $30, so it's only going about $6 for the price, but the value has gone down significantly. That being said, let's get into it. So here's the shirt right here, and it's from Back to the Future. And as far as a score on this shirt, it'll get the standard $12 to $15 value. A score on this is going to be 6 out of 10. So I think it's a fine shirt. Of all the subscription boxes, Geek Fuel always did the best quality shirts. They do good quality, but their designs weren't always great. I have so many Back to the Future shirts, especially ones that are referencing Biff. It's just something that's been done too much. And as far as the design on it, it's nothing crazy. It's barely kind of good. I don't know. I looked at it and I'm just like, it's there, it's okay, but nothing special about it. Now, they value their shirts at $25. And I'm sorry, Geek Fuel, I love you as a company. You've been one of my favorite boxes, but no, fuck no. You're $25. No, it's not worth that. That's crazy. That is a crazy value. That is super high end. Even when I go to Hot Topic, which is honestly the most expensive of the t-shirts I would ever buy, even those are $20, and they almost always have a sale where it's like buy one, get one half off, which brings it down to like $17. And that's high end. Places like Target, $10. Walmart, it's like $8. And even if I want to go a little bit nicer and go to say like JCPenney or something like that, those are still only a lot of times like $15. So $25, it's like, it's not that crazy, but it's more of like a designer shirt. If I want to get like Calvin Klein or something like that, maybe that would be $25, but not for a random graphic tee. And on top of that, it's random. It's one thing if you could go into a store or if they showed you all the shirts they have and you got to pick what you wanted for $25, I could maybe argue that. But a random shirt being valued at $25, no. Never going to happen. Absolutely not. 12 to 15 I think is fair, and the design isn't anything special, so there you go. Another rant. I hope you enjoy. Then, our item. We get a bottle opener. On the Back to the Future theme, which again, a theme I think has been way too overdone over the years, but it's here. So, this is actually pretty cool. I like this. It's metal, so it's nice quality, and it's one of the long bottle openers, which has bottle opener on one side and a circle on the other side, which I've never understood what that circle's for. I'm sure it does have a purpose. I've just never known what it's for. So I'm actually going to keep this. I'm obviously an alcoholic. I'm drinking on every video. So I have lots of use for bottle openers. I have a whole collection of them. I have like 20 at this point. And I kind of hang them on the wall in the kitchen. So that way they're always there if anyone needs them. And they're just cool because they're also decorative. So I don't mind that at all. I think that was a very good choice. Value-wise, only about 10 to 12 bucks on this. Pretty reasonable. If you were to see something like this in the store, it'd be like 15 to 20. But in these boxes, 10 to 12. Then we have one other item. They put it as part of their value. It's a $5 gift card to their store. Personally, I don't think this holds any value, but they value it at $5. Things to know about this card. The first thing I thought of was they're giving you $5 like, oh, it's like a gift card. You can just save those up, and then if you get enough boxes, you can spend it on something and basically get a free item. That made sense to me. For being a long-time subscriber, they say thanks. Here's basically a free item, a shirt or whatever. Excess stock, doesn't really matter. Not the case. Each card is only $5 off of something, and it has to be above a certain value. Also, it expires after 1 month, so you cannot use more than one, because it literally, even if they said you could use more than one, they expire before the next one comes. So it'll never be more than $5. It's only that off the items they have in the store, which kind of sucks because that doesn't even cover shipping. So that's kind of a bummer situation. So this is what I call theoretical value, which technically you could say it has $5 of value because it would give you $5 off. But that's in theory because it only has value if you're purchasing something in the store. If you're not buying something from that store, this has no value. So that's why I call it theoretical value. So let's talk about the overall value. If you don't include the card, the value on this bag is $22 to $25. Even if you include the card at the full $5 value, being totally generous, that's only going to be $27 to $30, which is barely more than you paid for. And if you don't include the card, it's basically what you paid for. That's the exact money is what you're getting out of it, and it's not even super fantastic. So that's why I'm going to give this box a 4 out of 10 because it's too much to spend for one shirt. Now, we'll see where it goes because I like this item, but I have a feeling this isn't always going to be a super good thing. I can't imagine it always being something I like that much. In the box, they would have one item would sometimes be a figure, and I don't ever imagine it being a figure like this because they wouldn't send a figure in a bag because it'll just get horribly damaged. So it's going to always have to be something small like this, and I have a feeling that this is going to be one of the best items, that next time it's not going to be as cool and not going to be as valuable. So I said this before. I've been saying it for, I think, a year and a half now. This company was going downhill slowly, 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 and here we are, pretty much rock bottom, and I don't think this company is going to last. I'm sorry to say, and I hate to say that because this was my favorite box. They were the best. I loved them. They did such a good job, and I hoped and prayed to the subscription box gods that they would stick around and keep that quality, and my prayers were not answered. They went down, and they're going down hard. I said in the last video, I'm pretty sure this is them just getting rid of the stock they have. Because you have to, for subscription boxes, you have to order things so many months in advance. And I think they basically were going to file for bankruptcy, but they have all this stock of stuff they've already ordered, so why not sell that off? So I think they're doing the subscription bag, so to speak, just to burn off the rest of their stock, and I think they're going to close shop. But I could be wrong. I hope I am. I hope this is just them restructuring, but being real, probably not. So who knows how much longer that'll be around, and the other companies are probably soon to come. So yeah, that was it. I've been looking into some other boxes, and people have been suggesting things. Someone suggested like the BAM anime, which is fine. I'm sure it's a great box, but I just don't watch enough anime. I feel like I would just sound like an idiot up here, not knowing how to describe anything. So I do want to try that, but I don't know enough about anime to say anything not stupid. And the BAM comic box is another one that I kind of want to get again too, because now they're doing subscription exclusive covers and CGC and putting a coin in there. It's actually a pretty cool box now. The problem is just like fucking $110 a month. $110 every month. That's a fucking lot, man. That's crazy. So I do want that box. It's just so expensive. So I might try it again. Who knows? Other than that, I don't know what else to try. So if anyone else has any suggestions, I'm more than happy to hear them. I'm going to keep doing this as long as the boxes keep showing up. So it's be nice to have more. But if it comes down to one a month, then that'll be the review. So thank you all for watching and supporting. Let me know if you have any questions on anything as far as collecting or any collectibles. I'm happy to answer anything here. Other than that, we'll see you on the next video. Thank you for watching and supporting. Love you all. Peace. Anything to add, Wolf? Oh, so sweepy. Sweepy boy. Sweepy boy. Sweepy boy. Oh. Oh, no. You hate Dad because he woke you up. Now he hates me. All right. Take it easy.